Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Folks, we got a serious one for y'all. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, as you guys know, the Lakers are going to be playing in an elimination game this evening against the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Mike Conley, and others, right? And for a lot of people, it's surprising to find themselves in this situation. But a few months ago, the trade went down when the Dallas Mavericks traded away Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. And at the time, I said that the Dallas Mavericks won the trade in the short term and the Lakers won it in the long term. But then AD got hurt immediately in the first game that he played, so that ended up looking like a disaster. Nico Harrison has been, they have just been tearing him a new one every time he opens up his mouth and speaks. And in the case of the Lakers, they were rolling with Luka and all of that, and every game Luka played well, and every game the Lakers did well, they would just make Nico look worse and worse and worse and worse. Fantastic. But then the playoffs started. And going into the playoffs, a lot of people picked the Lakers to win this series. I didn't, but a lot of people did. And now the Lakers find themselves in a 3-1 deficit, and all of a sudden people are beginning to double back to Nico Harrison. And a lot of people are now beginning to say that this guy looks like a seer. He looks like a forerunner, like an oracle, because he clearly saw something that everybody else didn't see. And then if this thing doesn't work out, Nico Harrison is going to come out looking like, he's going to come out here looking like a damn Luke Skywalker, man. Like people are going to be looking at him like, damn, this dude really saw it before the rest of us saw it. And one of the people that has been, to be fair, on the side of Nico Harrison for this trade was Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins has always said that he believed that the Mavs won this trade. And just yesterday, as he was discussing the state of affairs with the Lakers, he then said, that Nico Harrison may have been right about Luka Doncic. And I was like, damn. This thing is flipping very quickly. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Kendrick Perkins had to say about Luka and Nico Harrison, and then I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Kendrick here.
Watching the fourth quarter, the second half, the fourth quarter in particular, I saw what Nico Harrison was talking about. When it comes down to the reason why he traded Luka. He traded Luka because he felt that the Dallas Mavericks were not going to be able to win a championship with Luka. We all know this. I didn't feel that way watching the game looking at Anthony Edwards. I'm saying to myself, Anthony Edwards is going to win a championship before Luka Doncic. Anthony Edwards is built different. Anthony Edwards is a better all-around basketball player than Luka Doncic. Now, I could come on here like I did earlier in the segment. I could blame J.J. Redick, rightfully so, for the minutes that he played LeBron James at 40 years old. But like I said, Luka is young. He should have been able to play those 24 minutes straight. Anthony Edwards did, and Anthony Edwards thrived in those minutes. And so when I look at what he's done and what he's doing, not only did he send KD home last year, he sent Jokic home last year. He's now about to send LeBron and Luka home this season because they're going to win this series. And think about this for a second. In the next round, he could possibly be facing Steph Curry. And guess what? What if he send them home, which he absolutely has a chance to send Steph Curry packing? This man is just built different. And yes, it's not just about the 40-plus points and the assists and the rebounds. He defends his ass off. He wanted smoke with LeBron. He wanted smoke with Luka. That's what I like. He wanted smoke with Austin Reeves. I'm looking at Anthony Edwards and I'm saying to myself, he is a top 5 player in the game today. If I'm starting the franchise, yes, we know we have Jokic, we have Giannis, we have those guys, but damn it, you better not overlook Anthony Edwards.
So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? Well, one of the criticisms about Luka is his lack of defense. The thing about that, however, is we've always known this. This is not a secret that Luka is not a stalwart on the defensive side of the floor. Like, we all knew this. The thing is, however, if you look at that Dallas Mavericks team last year, the players that Luka had around him were able to hide his defensive deficiencies. Go back to the 2001 Sixers with Allen Iverson. Okay, AI was a scorer, number one, a playmaker, number two, but he was a defensive liability. Number one, because of his size, and he wasn't known as a defender, although he can get steals. So what the Sixers did was they surrounded him with a whole bunch of defenders. Dikembe Mutombo, Aaron Key, or all the Eric Snow, all of these other guys that could just defend, right? So he had the right group of players around him that would allow him to maximize what he's good at. They would cover up for his deficiencies, and it worked. They went to the finals. They beat Shaq and Kobe in game one in the finals. That was the first and only game that the Lakers lost that year. AI, I believe, dropped 48 points, and they were just crazy, right? Crazy. So in the case of Luka, was something similar. He wasn't a great defender, although it stretches last year in the playoffs. He did play great defense, but they had great defenders around him, like the PJ Washingtons and others of the world. But in the case of the Lakers, that's not the case. As a matter of fact, three of their best players are not known for defense right now. LeBron doesn't play defense. And if he does play defense, it's going to take away from his offense, as you saw in game 4. Austin Reeves is not a defender. Luka Doncic is not a defender. So the players around him are totally different, and therefore he's being exposed a little bit more, right? So his defensive deficiencies are becoming more pronounced, and they're more glaring now, right? And Kendrick is essentially saying, this is what Nico saw. Hence the reason he always doubled down and said, defense wins championships, defense wins championships, defense wins championships. Now, is Nikola Jokic a great defender? Not really, but he won a championship, right? Is Giannis a great defender? Yes, he won a championship, right? So it's not always true. But the fact is, when teams begin to lose, we must always look for something to say, this is the reason that they're losing. But in this particular situation here, if the Lakers lose this series, given everything that has been said about Nico Harrison over the last few months, I think a lot of people are going to change their views on Nico Harrison and the decision that he made. A lot of people are going to come over to his way of seeing things, his way of thinking. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you on the next show. Peace.